what are the developmental indices in Anambra? I mean, the present governor of Anambra had to come out that, I mean, damning verdict on the tenure of Peter Obi. But
you know, while the immediate past governor before him, Obiano,
also said, contrary to the claims that he left no debt, that he didn't pay contractors that rendered service to. But Nigerians, we have this habit of not being individual critical thinkers. We just want to follow them up. So it's easy to run any agenda in our society, and that's what is giving our politicians the temerity to ignore their past performance and become saints after they leave office.
The next paper would be the Punch, and the lead story is this: defections to me. PDP calls emergency meeting to halt Hurricane Tinubu.
Yeah, I think the emergency meeting is very expedient now. I think the number one agenda is to resolve their leadership crisis. Internal party leadership crisis. All their court cases should be withdrawn, and they should sit down and resolve their differences and get the party functioning again. If they can get that done, I see them coming back alive. But it's just reacting to what's it called? People defecting to the presidency without having any concrete plan to get their party back on track. We'll just keep having these headlines in the newspaper.
Okay, this one. U.S. report calls out Nigeria's trade barriers, port corruption. Was in the news too.
Yes. we can't deny the level of corruption at our ports. But trade barrier, really, no.
Not at this time.
Nigeria is actually a dumping ground for most of these foreign countries. We import almost everything that we use. So it's not as if we have to,
including toothpicks.
We have to open borders again for food stuff, so to bring down food inflation. So if US is going about trade barriers, really, maybe goods coming from them are more expensive than the alternatives that we are using. But telephone, we produce practically nothing in the country.
Yeah. To me, I relate the story that broke not too long ago. Two Ghanaian ladies were arrested for attempting to import the illicit drug referred to as loud into Nigeria. But here this one. NDLEA seizes 1 billion naira drugs in 80-room hotel raid.
You see, our security agency...
Are we in trouble?
We are. Our security agencies need to understand the society and find a way to carry out the operations in such a way that the criminals trying to fight back would not be using their lapses as propaganda against them. You know, we've had complaints about NDLEA, EFCC storming hotels and stuff like that. And people complaining that those
they are breaching people's rights.
But the truth is that a whole lot of criminal activities
going
on in those places. So, you know, nobody is complaining about this one. They must have carried out that operation in such a way that has left no room for anybody to complain. And we can see the results.
One expects the hotel to come out and give the lie to the NDLEA claim.
No, there's no lie there. These are physical things. They were there. It's not as if they were there and they were in large numbers. Photographs were taken, records were kept in black and white. So the hotel can't come out to complain. Probably the hotel has failed to do its own due diligence and this should be a warning to other hotels too. You don't want to become an accessory to such criminal enterprise.
But I deliberately asked if we were in trouble because if you remember, Nigeria started out by being a transit camp.
Mm.
Today we are a hub.
This one actually was in transit. Was supposed to be heading to Saudi Arabia. This hall.
Mm.
Though we have become users too.
Oh yeah.
So it's a big problem. We have spoken about the addition to illicit abuse of substances
Yeah,
in the in our primary and secondary schools, and these are the kind of people that are feeding those.
You know, I talked about loud a while back.
Mhm.
It will be too loud.
Actually, this hall is Canadian loud.
Too loud
detail.
for our system.
The what was seized from this raid is Canadian loud.
How?
What that the amount mentioned in the report.
This next story is not necessarily louder to me, but it's jarring. You know, Ondo doctor and others face charges over abortion for 10-year-old victim.
There are a
10-year-old abortion.
There are a whole lot of. If you stay close to reality in Nigeria, to the grassroots, you hear a whole lot of stories, you see a whole lot of things, and you'll be amazed.
Sometimes you wonder if most of these stories we read about are necessarily true.
They are more than true. During the COVID,
a 10-year-old
during the COVID lockdown, you know, one had no choice but to stay around the local area, as in one's locality. Nobody was going to work, so you know, hanging out on the street and listening to gist that one would have gone to work and then just come back and sleep. I was just like, are you saying this thing happens on my street? I was looking like a JJC, but the truth is this thing actually happened. If you hear stories, we are used to play ball in secondary school. There were incidences of adults running after all these small girls, secondary school girls. So it's
10-year-old pregnant.
Yes, it's a big
and somebody who calls himself a medical doctor would undertake to.
If you check our streets, our inner streets, you see a whole lot of young girls that are single mothers already.
Children giving birth to children.
Yes.
Okay, how about this? Federal government targets 70% local pharmaceutical production.
It will be nice. That's going to bring down the cost of medicine. It will also encourage research and development and also create jobs. Most of our medical
and STEM, maybe medical tourism.
And of course attract medical tourism is 2 ways. It can be in or out. But it provides job. It also gives the people studying these courses, medicine, pharmacy, nursing, the assurance that there will be good jobs waiting for them when they leave school. So it's a good move in the right direction.
The Daily Sun is here. The next story, the lead story I should say. NASIMA, OPS, that's Organized Private Sector, expressed worry over poverty level projection.
It's a projection. So that means we have time.
But they offer short-term measures.
Yeah. Short-term measures, but in the long run, productive activities are the thing that are going to make this projection just projection. We have to go into manufacturing, production. We sell most of the farm produce are even produced in Nigeria. We sell them in their raw form. So there is no reason why we can't have investment in those spheres. I was reading the report, I think over the weekend, about the need to provide storage facilities for farm produce in Nigeria. A whole lot of, we lose more than 40% of our farm produce. There is a whole lot of work and investment to be done in those areas. So, and it's not a function of government alone. It's a function of our endowed individuals and respective governments at different levels. we've seen what Dangote has done with his petroleum refinery. Though he has invested in cement and a whole lot of other, but that petroleum refinery is making a whole lot of difference in the Nigerian society. So people that are also
at least the refinery is triggering the price war, which we expect,
and it is also signaling to other investors that maybe there is hope for investment to thrive in Nigeria. Okay. So if more Nigerians, let's even start with that, if more Nigerians are also now putting their money where their mouth is, it's not just about complaining. If you traverse the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, you see a whole lot of factories springing up on both sides of the road.
I heard that.
But there are more of foreign investors than Nigerian investors. We also, apart from complaining about the bad state of the economy of Nigeria,
after all, the saying, every cloud has a silver lining is playing out here.
So if those foreign investors can come and start investing in production, putting up factories in Nigeria, Nigerians too should try and look at what those people are saying.
And enabling us to export again.
And definitely.
That's the only way to save the national currency.
Because now, for example, I heard that a whole lot of people that are into importation of sanitary wares are already diverting their investment into other businesses because these foreign investors are coming to start manufacturing those porcelain wares in the country. So there is hope that production can
resume in my country.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Tinubu Wike working on Fubara's return, says Tompolo. Did you see that coming?
Well, with the statement by Wike that the president saved Fubara, what he wanted was for him to be impeached. And that state of emergency saved that because it truncated whatever plan the legislators had for Fubara. But the most important thing is we Nigerians should be cautious in taking sides with politicians. They will always find it's their own interest that matters. Now Fubara is holding meetings with everybody and they are reaching the compromise. Whereas there are still some people on the sideline that are saying, no, don't do that. Some people are just they don't have any stake in this thing except and they don't care what happens.
Yeah.
But these people are obvious, and I think it's good for River State.
Okay, the next story is not intended to make you feel sad, Children for sale, here it is, and this is happening in my state, Akwa Ibom. Children for sale. Traffickers lay siege, lure parents to trade kids in Akwa Ibom.
You see,
some would tell you it's the economy that's giving rise to this madness.
There are a whole lot of madness going on in our society. There are people hiding under NGOs, motherless babies and everything involved in this kind of activity. It's not only in Bayelsa State.
Yeah.
Somebody was caught in
Akwa
Ibom. Somebody was caught recently in Lagos State operating, hiding under having a motherless baby's home involved in this.
And whereas he or she is running a baby factory.
There are baby factories almost all over the country. And the truth is, most of these things are done in the open. You now be wondering, maybe this person had offended some people or did not pay the usual people they're supposed to be paid.
Okay.
Because you'll still be surprised that tomorrow, even in the same state, we will see another baby factory that has been running for more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
So the question is, How have they existed for so long without anybody?
Why now?
Why now?
All right. Plateau, Benue crisis. Over 80 communities under terrorist control, alleges right groups. You have heard that in Plateau, for instance, over 64 communities have been occupied by these terrorists, and they have changed the names of these communities.
Well,
Have you heard that?
that I mean these Plateau and
Benue.
Benue. The is a talent to the Nigerian armed forces to ensure that such what's it called, such situations are eradicated.
Mm.
Well, I'm not on ground, so one can't really dispute the claim of the right group, but I'm also skeptical when these right groups come up, because during the height of the Boko Haram insurgency, you would go to Borno and you will not get an hotel room to book. They were all booked by, because what we've also come to understand is these right groups also tried in these chaos. So the Nigerian government should also put a searchlight on these right group while they are also attending to the insinuation or reports that they are getting.
Okay. Federal government dismisses fear over economy, insists Nigeria well positioned to withstand global uncertainties.
Well, like we said some minutes back, we will scaremong ourselves. The economy is bad. But foreigners are coming in to invest in our country. Regardless. That means there's something they are seeing. So we need to take a step back and ask ourselves, these people coming to put in their own money in the country, what are they seeing that we are not seeing? This American bank that is asking for a banking license must have seen something.
Okay.
So we should tone down our negativity a bit and let's look at these people coming into the country to establish their factories. What are they seeing? There must be something that they are seeing.
All right. And this one, Bayelsa government pro-Tinubu group trade words over shooting at mega rally. I want to read the details. And
well, for me, the police are supposed to be on top of this. Who are the shooters? At least get one of them. We need to start meting out consequences to misbehavior. That is the only way to reduce such occurrences. It's not a do or die affair. Let them do their own rally. You to go do your own rally. It's a democracy. You can't force people. I mean, you sell your party to them.
To belong
to you.
Yeah. Okay. There are two picture stories on the front page of the Daily Sun, but the one that attracts me the more is that showing the federal government's delegation to the burial of Pope Francis at the Vatican in Rome. Shows Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odimegwu Ojukwu, President of the Senate and leader of the delegation, Godswill Akpabio, and Catholic Archbishop Lucius Iweju Ugoji at the burial.
Nigeria was represented by the Senate President and the
Foreign Affairs. Yeah. Okay. No. Minister of State Foreign
Affairs.
Yeah. The next paper, New Telegraph, is here. LCCI, that's the lead story. Revenue targets imposed on federal government agencies strangulating investments.
That's
revenue the targets set.
the way for us out of this dilemma is for those tax bills to be passed.
Mm.
We as at 2022, the tax to GDP ratio for Nigeria was 7.9%.
Mm.
That is low for a country with the population dynamic. What it means is that tax only contributes 7.9 to our GDP. And this is why we are exposed to the vagaries of international oil price. Once the oil price starts dropping, we start catching cold.
Mm.
And the reality on ground is we need to move away from that. Non-oil revenue has to be increased.
Mm.
Now, the tax reform law is going to take revenue collection activities away from all those government agencies and just place it on federal revenue service as it should be. So you won't think that these agencies have revenue targets. That's why they are harassing you. They will focus on their job. The tax agencies will pursue the collection of revenue.
So the tax reform bills are a plus.
They're a plus, definitely, to this country, and we need it as soon as possible. But we need to face the reality that we need to improve on our tax generation. And increasing the tax net does not mean that the government is increasing taxes. It only means that the government is bringing people that have not been paying tax all this while into the tax.
All right. This next story, I broached it in passing, but it's here in the New Telegraph. Canada, 11 people killed as car plows into street festival crowd.
There's been a lot.
Capture the.
I think over the Easter holiday, something like that. Was it Benny or something? Something like that happened, where they said it was an accident where somebody were driving a truck drove into
a crowd
during the Easter procession. There are a whole lot of radicalization going on all over the world.
Or more succinctly, more sick people.
Yes, more sick people
moving around.
And there's it's an information.
Yeah.
You have to watch the information or news that you are consuming.
To me, the driver, a 30-year-old, certainly must be demented, if you ask me.
Well, in our own normal parlance, local parlance, he's not the only one operating. There are a whole lot of.
So now somebody send them.
No,
nobody sent them.
Not that somebody sent. What I'm saying is, there must be a whole lot of spirits in him.
Okay.
I mean, encouraging him in
spirits beyond those
that we can see
inside a bottle.
Inside the bottle.
Okay. Here is first quarter 2025. Oil producing states earnings up to 13%. 13% earnings up by 15.3% to 393.93 billion.
So when you look at the projections of doom and everything, states are earning maybe 3 times what they are earning from allocation. We are now reading reports.
And for oil producing states, that's a different kettle of fish.
It's a different kettle of fish. The results that are being released by blue chip companies are showing improvement in their profit. So I've also read arguments of people saying the naira value has dropped, so that's why. But notwithstanding, we can't say people are declaring profits because naira value has gone down. They have also increased sales. We need to tell ourselves this truth so that we do not, because if you keep selling doom, a whole lot of people get fixated on that and opportunities are passing them by.
And each time anybody does that, he or she is demarketing the country.
Yes. even the marketing their own success.
Mm.
And sometimes it's also, I think, in my own opinion, a trick by people that are making money to hide those opportunities away for a lot of people that can't think for themselves.
Yeah.
The distributors of most of these manufacturing companies in Nigeria that are declared impressive results have also benefited because they are the one through which the product of those companies are being sold.
Okay.
Now, increase in earning for oil producing states, increase in their federal allocation. People should now start asking their state governors, especially those in the oil producing states, what are you doing with the increase revenues that you are getting?
You are earning, okay. Here, I wonder how you react to this one. Army, it's a crime for civilians to wear military uniform.
Well,
straightforward.
Yeah, straightforward, because because of the peculiarities of Nigeria. We must admit to ourselves that there are so many things wrong with us. People who wear police uniform. People are wearing DSS uniform, EFCC's uniform to go and commit crime. So if that is what entails, what obtains in the society, it's better to just remove that opportunity away. People argue I can wear my camo in Canada. Nigeria is not Canada. The society is different. The discipline of the citizens of Canada is not the same as the discipline of the people or of the citizens of Nigeria. So when you are in Rome, you behave like you run. In Nigeria, because of these things, maybe one is not affected. No fake policeman or fake EFCC man or fake military man has accosted one before. So one can say, but for the people that are falling victim of such evil men, I think, please, let's leave military uniform for military.
To me, it behoves parents watching this show to tell their kids, wards, partners, it is a crime to wear military uniform.
In Nigeria.
The army has made it a crime now. So do not say we didn't tell you. Okay, here it is. I wonder if this is not a mind-bending one. 240 workers receiving double pay, 217 share same BVN. Kano government is saying.
The problem I have with this kind of news over time, and I say it any time I have the opportunity, where are all the people behind these ghost workers? We've seen the report. How many people have been arrested for collecting these tolls? Salaries are paid into people's bank accounts. We don't collect salary by cash.
You can track it.
So it can be tracked. Arrest the people coming to cash those payments and take them to court. That is the only way we can reduce. Because over every year, you will hear we caught so number of ghost workers. But it's not ghosts that is going to the bank to collect the cash.
To me, but do you see ghosts? I've not seen
one. I've not seen one too. So they should get the people collecting this money and take them to. It's when they arrest people collecting money from these accounts, they will in turn lead us to the people behind the cartel.
Okay. So you become a ghost boss. All right. The Nigerian Tribune is here, and the lead story is this. Tinubu's government making efforts to dismantle democratic foundations. Odinkalu, Odudu, Jinodu, 15 others warn.
Well, for me,
the riders warn against country's march towards one-party state. We didn't fight to end military dictatorship, only to enthrone civilian authoritarianism.
What they should do is call other parties to get their house in order. When the current president was in opposition and PDP had 31 states out of 26.
31, yeah.
Nobody was talking about
It was just as well.
And
Democracy was working.
yes, and this man kept at his own what's it called? Belief, growing his party. So let other parties grow their own parties. I just see this excuse me. I just see this as
Distractions?
not distraction, just the normal finding somebody to blame for our own mistakes. Why is PDP that used to have 31 governors? Why are they in disarray? The truth is somebody has said that his own personal ambition is greater than that of the party.
Well, have you not heard that the ruling party is responsible for the implosion in opposition parties? Haven't you
So
heard that?
the ruling party is the one asking them to take themselves to court.
Me, I don't know. I don't know.
The truth is these people need to just admit to themselves that they failed to organize their parties well. That is the truth. At the beginning of this year, what was in the news was coalition against the head meetings. People moved from APC to SDP. Democracy was not in danger because everybody is free to do what they want to do. If you cannot get your act together, ask yourself what you are doing wrong. Don't blame the federal government for your lack of vision.
Minor pieces in the Nigerian Tribune include this one. 50 billion earned allowance. ASU is telling us we didn't rely on money released on paper.
Well,
if you get the gist.
yes. We will know whether very soon whether it is released on paper or in real cash. But for me, and I'm just hoping that if the president can have the willpower to stop petroleum subsidy, stop multiple forex rates, he should have the willpower to please give our university autonomy, so that the universities have autonomy does not mean that the government will stop funding them. The funding from government will now be just one of their source of income, because it is good. It's easy for them to come and be blaming the politicians running the country. Let them have autonomy to run the universities, and let us see how they can put to good use the knowledge that is in their data.
All right. Nigeria targets single-digit inflation, job creation, and global uncertainty. Minister Edu is telling
you. The way to get this done is to ensure that all stakeholders are moving along the same direction.
On the same page.
At the same page. Because there are a whole lot of policies in this country that are good for us, but propaganda and bad mouthing will let some people not key into it. For example, is the student loan. When it was being mooted, there were a whole lot of
misgivings and so on. Yeah.
Until it became reality, and then we noticed that a certain part of the country had collected that load before every other person now became this thing is, and then some section now started saying that they were being us focusing on the negative, like I said earlier. What are those policies on ground that we can tap in and benefit from?
All right, last but not least story from the Tribune. Nasima, OPS, worry over World Bank's 50% poverty projection for 2027.
They should not be worried about the projection. Like I said earlier, it's a projection.
Yeah.
What are your own plans against what are your own projections for your country yourself? You operate in Nigeria. What are your own projections? What are your plans for achieving those projections? The World Bank has said his own. The World Bank will sit down in his office. He's not going to come to Nigeria.
It is doing its job.
It's doing its job. He's not going to come to Nigeria.
Own.
So let's do our own.
All right. The nation is here. And, of course, the viewer must... story in the nation. Shetima, Ganduje, governors to receive Oborevori into APC and all others. Yeah.
That's politics.
Delta agog for big political event of the year in Asaba. Okowa PDP leaders moved en masse.
So Okowa used to be the immediate vice presidential candidate of
PDP.
This should be serious concern. So instead of them coming onto the news of the pages of the newspapers, I said that they have held series of meetings. What is happening? Why did Okowa leave? What can we do to forestall such occurrences again, instead of blaming the federal government for their woes? Until our parties start taking responsibilities for their own destiny, we are going to be having cross-carpeting all over the place.
Right. World Bank backs federal government job creation plan.
Like I said, those plans, if Nigerians do not interrogate it and find out how it can be beneficial to them. For example, there is registration going on for unemployed Nigerian youths. I've not really seen any, what's it called, news about it, driving people to go and register. That registration will close, and we will still come and complain about no work. That is just one part. That is on the federal government part. What are respective states also doing to create jobs? How are they providing enabling environment to attract investors into their states to create jobs? So
Because
those are the things.
The Vanguard next. Hear this. Tinubu, the lead story. Tinubu to opposition. Don't blame me for inability to manage your affairs.
It's simple.
Says democracy not threatened.
It's simple. I mean, you cannot be blaming the president. This man was in opposition for more than 15 years, and he did not at any time blame the government of the day then for not allowing him to build his own political party. So the present oppositions cannot. That's just reality.
Okay, but hear this one. We must resist one-party state agenda.
The only way to resist
Akinola Odinkalu.
The only way to resist one-party state agenda is to organize yourself.
After all, we can do with a robust opposition.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But they are not robust. Just making noise all over the place.
Oborevori, Omo Agege, battle for Delta APC leadership.
Well, that is expected. Though I was also reading that the party has waded into that, but that is their own internal problem. Okay, one party state, and then the Delta state. This, of course, is IPOP. There's going to be leadership also, definitely.
The Guardian next. The lead story: solar panel import ban may trigger 150% price surge, worsen energy cost, drive prices.
Well, the explanation of the federal government about the solar panel plan is that they want to encourage local production.
Are you persuaded by that logic?
Not really, because I don't know the capacity, the local capacity that we have now for manufacturing solar panel. I think the government should allow
a level playing field.
Yes, and then still allow people to not ban outright, maybe increase the tariff on imported solar panels, so that people would have, in Nigeria we have these habits when government closes the border for certain people, they also take undue advantage of Nigeria. When the border was closed because of rice production, our rice farmers started hoarding their produce, and then the price went out of reach of the ordinary. And I think the government should have learned from that. Not total ban for me, advantage of that, and be giving cheaper solar panels to consumers. Once they become the sole provider, the Nigerian in them might just decide to start showing us.
Of course, there is a picture story on the front page showing us the current solar industry snapshot. Study
Okay.
the
But I don't think we have enough local capacity yet.
okay.
To just soon, just like some people, you see, funny enough, some middlemen might decide to go in there and actuate that this projection of 150% price surge becomes a reality.
Okay. Take this one. Tompolo endorses Tinubu for second term, says Fubara will return.
That's the thing with politicians. Tompolo was a PDP man before. Today, times politicians will follow their interests, and they don't have permanent enemies. So the man that you are supporting A against B today. Tomorrow, A and B will become friends. We should look at those things. That what are governments at the federal government level, at the state level, what are the government policies that I can tap in and better my life.
All right. Don't don military affairs. That is, don't wear military attire. Rather, Army urges Nigerians. We talked about it earlier. Nigeria won't be great without agriculture, says Afeba Balola.
Well, we used to be very good in agriculture until we all decided that
we dropped the ball.
That is tie and suit that would pay us. And it is not a federal government. I keep saying this thing. It's not a federal government problem. Land is under the jurisdiction of state governments. What have they done with the arable lands that are under?
Yeah. To me, I hope this is not out of sync with what we are saying here. If I mention that the second largest beat it, and I'm on the same page with Afeba Balola here. NLC cancels May Day celebrations in Rivers and Edo.
Well, what are their reasons? Definitely, I hope it's not the state of emergency in Rivers. About Edo, I don't know what the issues are in Edo, but my suspicion is it might be because of the what's it called? The state of emergency in Rivers having an administrator.
Yeah, but does the NLC order the May Day celebrations in my Akwa Ibom state or your state?
But what they can do is ask their members not to come out for parade that day.
Okay. Presidency, civil society.
They should have added Abuja to it too.
Okay. No, here is one. No cash above $10,000 must leave Nigeria without declaration. EFCC one.
Yeah, it's standard all over the world. You can't enter the United States. Once you have more than $10,000, you must declare it.
Yes.
So it's standard practice across the world. And ignorance is not an excuse. If you are caught with more than $10,000 undeclared, they would detain you.
The law will apply.
And it will apply.
Okay. Over 80 northern communities under ISWAP control, says the group.
Well, like we said earlier, the armed forces should either come out to debunk that or put into machinery to ensure that those 80 communities are cleared.
In a related story, Fulani herders get 48-hour ultimatum to leave Benue community.
There is an untold story about these herders that we always discuss. The cows that these herders are tending belongs to locals. The locals employ these herders as what's it called? Tenders to their cows. So when you make this law, the big man that owns the cow are the ones that are going to circumvent those laws again. So we should stop playing politics with this thing. Let us address this matter. There is a Ministry of Livestock, and they are saying let's have
ranching.
So let's just start this thing on time.
I guess we have a choice.
Yeah.
The last but not least paper is the Daily Trust, the lead story. 15 months after, EFCC yet to release probe reports on Edu and Sadia. You are familiar with it.
And that's also a problem we have. We have breaking news. the media will report it. But subsequently, the media don't follow up to give us a report of this. You might be shocked that probably the report is out, but maybe it's not juicy enough to make the front line. So, because we need media to also, the media is important. This man was arrested. Let's still be getting reports of what is happening. And if nothing is happening, they should also report it that they are not. Otherwise,
otherwise you are talking about what is said in football. You kick and follow.
You kick and follow. So that's it.
All right, minor pieces. Kwankwaso's political future in limbo as defections rock NNPP.
I'm sure Kwankwaso is on top of his political future. So, for me, I don't worry about what is happening to a politician. They will always sort themselves out. What I'm concerned about is what policies are there that I can tap into.
Yeah.
Kwankwaso will be okay.
Okay, Plateau communities pick pieces after deadly attacks.
I think the governor...
It should do more than just pick pieces.
The governor now should actually dust all those reports that are on his table and start implementation. That is the only way to bring an end to this recurring Plateau incident.
And this crazy one, weeks to common entrance examinations. FCT teachers strike lingers.
Now, the report I was reading is that the fund has been released to the local government administrators or chairman in FCT. And they've been
six of them.
Yes, and they've been sat down on it and not remitted it. That's why
the strike is on.
Those local governments have no immunity. I expect that AFCC
to me our problems are principally man-made.
It's man-made.
Yeah.
Because the FCC minister said the money has been released to them. I saw somewhere. The money has been released to these people. They are the ones that are yet to pay the workers.
Okay, hunger worsens in IDP camps as UN agencies cut operations. Because you remember President Trump started it.
Yes. So the preponderance of NGOs in Nigeria is also going to affect them because they are not getting funding anymore. And maybe now the state government will find a way to ensure that these IDPs can go back to their respective what's it called? Residents.
Okay, to me, let's apply the brakes here. But so we have shared headline stories with you. Go out there, get your favorite paper and papers, sort these stories, and don't rely much on gut reactions, please. Thank you. And we want to thank Tumi Olowe for co-anchoring.
Thank you for having me.
Until the next time, bye-bye now.
Everybody, okay now. Everybody up, close on. Everybody hop, close on. Up, close. Everybody close on. Up, close on. Everybody hop, close on. Hey. Up, close on. I know Jehovah never fails. I know Jehovah never fails. Anytime I dip on my knees and pray, I know Jehovah hears. Anytime I dip on my knees and pray, I know Jehovah sees. I know Jehovah never fails. I know Jehovah never fails. Anytime I dip on my knees and pray, I know Jehovah hears. Anytime I dip on my knees and pray, I know Jehovah sees. Anytime I dip on my knees and pray, I know Jehovah hears. Anytime they put me in, hey, I know Jehovah sees. By the rivers of Babylon, sure, where we sat down and when we remember God, and we got to the valley of sound, God feeds me. Yes, sir. Required remorse of sin. Sure. And how can we sing a love song in a straight? So let the words of thy mouth and the meditations of my heart be accepted. Oh yeah, easy. Listen. Chief. This man don't trouble no man, but if you trouble this man, it's gonna bring it up. What's up, bring it up. What's up? One more time. This man, I don't trouble no, but if you trouble this man, it's gonna bring it up.